a wonderful sweet baby. So today we're going to be talking about Megan Thee Stallion lying on her cooter cat. So apparently Megan Thee Stallion has a new documentary that's out, and she actually admitted some things. So she took to her documentary, and out of her own mouth, she actually stated that she lied to Gayle King. Now, the moment in which she's referring is to when Gayle King actually interviewed her live on her show. One of the questions that Gayle King actually asked her during that time was if she had any romantic relations with Tory Lanez. Child, in that moment, Megan was gagged and bewildered because she was like, "Did I what? Did I, huh?" Which then Gayle had to reiterate the question and ask her again if she had romantic relations with Tory Lanez. Then Megan sat there and lied to that woman's face with no tears coming down her eyes and said that no, she's never had a relationship with Tory Lanez. So now we fast forward to about 2 years later, and now Megan's coming forth and she's spilling the beans that she did actually have relations with Tory, maybe once or even twice. She claimed that every time that her and Tory had interactions with one another, she was inebriated and he had always caught her at a very low and vulnerable moment. So here's my thoughts. Every time I really want to like Meg, I feel like she does something that further makes me feel like her character is flawed. The thing about these interviews is this was a way for her to tell her story and express everything that she needed to say about the actions that went on. And of course, these things were also going to be, publicated and things, so they may have been used in a court of law depending on what she had said. And the fact that she just blatantly lied, I feel like this shows a lot more of her character. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, this piece of information was a really big, huge, viable piece in the whole entire Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion, Kelsey Nicole situation. And I seen a lot of women actually caping hard for Megan, saying that it didn't matter that she lied. But what they fail to realize is this is an important fact in the whole case. The main reason that all of this actually went about was because Kelsey had stated that Megan was, involved with her boyfriend at the time, which was Tory Lanez. Maybe they hadn't been dating within that moment, but she had found out that with her having, interactions with Tory, she then also found out that Megan had interactions with him as well, which showed that they had some form of animosity towards one another, which further proves the reason that things got heated during that night. So for her to lie about something like this, which this was a viable piece within the case, I feel like the whole case should be thrown at this point. To be honest, I'm actually really surprised that Megan even said this in her documentary. I'm not sure if this was just supposed to be like a money grab so then people can actually run to go watch the documentary or what, but I'm actually surprised she admitted this. This just shows that since she's constantly still speaking on something, that her soul isn't able to rest in regards to something regarding this case. Because I don't understand why you're still talking about something that has to involve with somebody that did something to you that really put you in a space in which you felt down and low. So I find it to be interesting that her and Kelsey are still constantly speaking on this situation, even after the whole fact of them both being free. And the alleged perp is actually behind bars. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that women are actually justifying the fact that, she didn't have to express who she was active with. Okay, well, she does have to express who she's active with if this whole entire case is revolved around, two people being upset because you pretty much was with my man behind my back. Other than that, we really didn't care about who else she was involved with. But we did have to know the information of if she was involved with Tory because the situation involves Kelsey Nicole, Megan Thee Stallion, and Tory Lanez. And the fact that there are actually some sick women out there that are defending these actions is actually kind of scary. Because that means that you're pretty much going to have to worry and look over your shoulder if these girls are with your sons, if they have a chance of this happening to them as well. Because you could do everything right with raising your kids, but at the end of the day, if something ends up happening where, they meet some girl and she kind of acts similar to the way that Megan the Stallion acts, and she's able to get away with lying, then they're in a whole nother situation where now they're a Tory Lanez. Because I'm sure that half of the people in the comments caping for Megan are probably the same women that are boy moms or having sons in general or just children in general. And that is actually quite scary and sad. It's like they're completely deflecting the fact that this is actually a man that has a child at home, and the fact that this is a man that possibly is innocent that is behind bars. And that to me is disgusting. I seen a comment in the comment section that said their mother always told them that if you lie about something small, you'll lie about something big. Which is why I feel like Megan will never be able to let this situation go with this whole thing that happened with her. And I feel like, honestly, at this moment in her career revolves around this. Because look at 50 Cent, for instance. I have to bring up an example so you guys can understand things from perspective. And I completely get that everybody's, different with their stories and everything, but let's just talk about it. This man was pow-powed 8 times. I'll repeat that number for the slow ones in the back. This man was pow-powed 8 times. The extensive amount of reconstruction that needed to be done to him was absolutely astonishing. But instead of him constantly bringing this up and holding on to this grudge, he actually moves forward with his life and he's actually an astound businessman. So for Megan to be somebody that's so innocent in a situation, she sure does move like somebody that's extremely guilty, allegedly. But that's my opinion. What's yours?